Hey, you beautiful people, you. It's nice to meet you. I'm ChristopherJMUA. Unless we've already met before, and if we have, I know, I've seen you around. It's good to see you here. And for the other person I was just talking to that hasn't been here before, I see you now, and I can see which screen you're on. And I know that there's a little red subscribe button right down there. And if you click right down there, or tap right down there, it's actually going to put a little bell right beside it. And if you tap that little bell, or click that little bell, it's going to put these little brackets right beside that. And that's going to alert you every time that I upload a new video. Because you know at this point that you're going to watch it anyway, and you're probably going to come back anyway. So you might as well make it easy on yourself and just boop, you know? Seriously though, thanks for coming to hang out with me. And I hope that maybe I can make it worth it for you. Because today we are trying on and reviewing Colourpop, as the title already told you, so it's not like you didn't know beforehand. However, we are using the No Filter Foundation Stick and the No Filter Concealer. Now, I am a little bit behind the bandwagon, the gravy train, the trend, if you will. I realize, but you have to have coin to try things, and if you don't have coin, you can't try them. But I got coin, so now I got product. So we are going to be testing these out. Now, I can compare this to their liquid no filter foundation. This is in the shade Light 70, and it's a little bit yellow on me, and maybe a little light. It's kind of hard to tell because I don't really have another Colourpop foundation to compare it to until now. But with this foundation, I went ahead and got one shade darker than Light 70 in the hopes that it would be a perfect match. I'll admit, in the tube, it kind of looks a little dark. Even the sticker kind of looks a little dark. Maybe? I don't know. I just really don't know. But we're gonna find out together. And whenever I ordered the foundation stick, I actually got the Better Together Duo. So it comes with both the foundation stick and the concealer as like a bundle price. And it's $14 to get both of them together, which that's $2 cheaper than what it is if you were to buy each one of these individually from the Colourpop website. Now, whenever you pick your foundation shade that you think you are, it chooses the concealer that it suggests is going to be the right concealer to go with the shade of foundation that you got. So I just let it go ahead and pick. It picked medium 26 in the concealer shade. So before we get into actually trying the products on my face, I'm going to read the description of what this foundation and concealer are supposed to be like. So for the foundation stick, swipe, blend, and go with no filter sticks. It conceals, corrects, and perfects for a flawless complexion in seconds. Its medium buildable coverage instantly blurs pores, covers blemishes, and blends effortlessly for a natural skin-like finish. Never cakey or drying, this stick glides on for the easiest application. Perfectly portable, take it on the go for mess-free touch-ups anytime, anywhere. This sounds like heaven in a tube so far. Application tips. Apply foundation stick directly to skin on top of your all-star primer and or moisturizer. Blend out with brush or sponge of your choice. We love the flat kabuki brush or stippling brush. Coverage. For fuller coverage, apply foundation with a denser brush, like the flat kabuki brush. For lighter coverage, apply foundation with a fluffier brush, like the stippling brush or a small duo fiber face brush. To highlight, choose a shade that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin. To contour, choose a shade that's 1 to 2 shades deeper than your skin. Set with no filter loose setting powder and no filter sheer matte pressed powder for long lasting wear. Some of those were kind of irrelevant for me, but the first two were not. And typically, I like more full coverage, but I want to see how this builds rather than just caking it on all at once. And I really want to see what the differences in the application is with the brush versus the sponge. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face first using my Benefit Professional and my Becca Backlight Priming Filter. Okay, so now that I have put the Becca Backlight Priming Filter on first and made my face glowy, then went in with the Benefit Professional and took away all the glow and made my face matte but pore filled, we can go ahead and move on to the foundation stick and the concealer. In other words, don't do what I did. You're welcome. So for actual application, I am going to just take the stick. I don't know how much is enough or not enough or too much. I guess I'll just go in. Okay. Either I didn't press down very hard or that's very sheer. Or it's a really, really good match. Can you even see that on camera? That's a little better. Wow, did I actually shade match? No way. Oh, this is fun. I feel like an avatar. But without the pretty colors. It's just tan. Now it says that this is good for like on the go application. I don't know about you, but I don't want to look like this on the go. So I definitely have to have a brush with me too. Or a sponge. Okay, so I am going to use my beauty blender on my right side, your left side, I think, and blend out the right. Okay, so sponge side is blended out. So far, for me personally, it's too sheer, but it said medium to full coverage. We can build it up again. I'm gonna see what it's like with the brush on the other side. So I'm gonna go in with my M439 little kabuki brush and just blend out this side. And now since the foundation is on my face, I'm actually going to spray some Smashbox Centering Citrus Photo Finish Primer Water on. Mainly because it's really hot in here and because I want to kind of let my face be wet-ish whenever I go to put concealer on it. Is the heater on? Oh my god. I thought I had it off. Ugh, why is it so hot? So many lights. I think that's why. Ugh, it's even hot in here. It's making my face itch because I'm about to start sweating. Oh my god. Sorry about that, I'm back. It got really hot all of a sudden and I needed to go outside the room. But the benefit to that is that I stood in the bathroom mirror with different lighting and looked at this foundation and I really like it. Like maybe I went just a little heavy in my T-zone area, but it doesn't have that like super thick cakey look and I like that. But we don't know what it's gonna look like with concealer over it. So we are gonna go ahead and go in with the concealer. And after I apply this, I'm gonna blend it out the exact same way. That is a very different applicator from concealers that I've seen lately. That looks like a lip doe foot, but it's flat. This one's flat. Well, we'll see how that applies. That's interesting. They made a pretty decent shade match when they automatically picked this shade to go with that foundation. So that's good. If I was to compare this to something like Tape Shape, I would definitely say that it's not nearly as thick as Shape Tape, but that's not to say it doesn't have as good of coverage as Shape Tape. Because I don't know yet. I'm not really gonna know until I actually blend it out how well the coverage is. I don't really know how I'm gonna blend out half and half of the middle. We'll figure it out though. Okay, so it was Beauty Blender on this side. I feel like I'm gonna have to blend really fast so that I can get to the other side before it dries. Because I don't know how fast it dries, so I'm kind of worried. See, this part's really hard to only get half of. And it doesn't help that I like instinctively want to go in and get the rest of it. Now, I'm going to use this Morphe, it's like a really big crease brush, and use it to blend out the brush side. Okay, now before any of this has a chance to crease, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Fit Me pressed powder in translucent on an M106 and set my under eyes and my forehead, which this is really going to help me out in seeing just kind of how the foundation and the concealer work with all of the other normal products on top of it and how they kind of work together. And I'm also going to contour and highlight and blush normally like I would. Like I'm just going to go ahead and do my whole face except for eyeshadow so that I can really kind of test just how it works with everything, just to make sure that it's gonna mesh well and function correctly, if you will. Now I'm gonna take my Morphe S94. This is a contour brush, but I'm gonna go into my Benefit Hoola bronzer with it, and then I'll still go into my contour with it, but it's okay if we mix, or at least I think so. I don't really know how this is gonna turn out exactly. This bronzer is such a pretty shade. If you haven't tried the Benefit Hoola bronzer, definitely worth trying. Even if you just get the mini, which is what I have. I don't even remember how I got it. I think it was like a holiday haul. You ain't gotta wonder Monday, but then you read you I'm telling you the way I like it, how I want it. Yeah. And I can be all the things you told me not to be. Yeah. When you try to comfort me, I'll keep on flourishing. Okay, so that's it for bronzer. And so far so good. I don't see any mishaps with the bronzer laying on top of the foundation. I don't see any of the foundation coming up So it seems to be working pretty nicely. Now, I'm gonna take the NYX Contour Pro palette. Been a minute since I used this, but I wanted a change of scenery for a moment. And I'm gonna go into the shade Sculpt right here and just use that to contour my face. You know what I would really like one day is to do an entire face of Colourpop products. That would be so much fun, and I think it would be really nice, but I think it would also be very expensive. I mean, not as expensive as a lot of others, because Colourpop's one of those really affordable brands. To get a full face of makeup, it's gonna cost some money, and that's money I don't have. Feel beautiful. Now I'm going to use the Morphe M208. It's like this wedge brush, I don't know. I'm gonna take my Coty Airspun and my Morphe M400 big brush. And I thought it was broken when I first got it, but turns out that's flat on purpose. It is. Didn't know. Now I do. And so do you. And I rhymed. And I'm just gonna go into my loose setting powder and make a line going up. Like that. I am going to go in with some highlighter. We're going to be using the Anastasia Sugar Glow Kit on the Morphe M310. I think I'm feeling some Starburst today, so that one. Ooh! Oh, she is there. Hi, honey. Hey, boo-boo. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh. Okay, more. Okay, so now that we have been baking, I'm gonna go back in with the M400 and just brush off the excess powder that I used down here and on my ear, apparently. And now I'm just gonna pop on some blush and make sure it can handle that. And we're gonna go in for the final check after that and make sure it's all good and see if it really could withstand all of the other products I put on it. Now I'm going to use my Morphe M104 tapered blush brush and go into my Maybelline Master Blush Color and Highlight Kit Face Studio into that little pinky shade right there and just plop that on my cheek. Yeah, like that. Okay, our cheeks are pink. I feel like that's the color of I just came inside from a cool wintry blast from getting firewood for our wood burning stove. And that's the blush that was on my face when I came into the warm house. Could you see it? I could see it. I felt it. Okay, now I am going to zoom you guys in and we are going to double check the integrity of this foundation and concealer. Hey! Yeah, you're really close now. So, now you can truly see what the foundation looks like. We have our highlight that makes my heart so happy. Oh my gosh. Oh, it goes really high. That's okay though. The point is the foundation. The point is the foundation. And the concealer blended in well, and it has pretty nice coverage because I don't see any under eye bags. I don't see any of my darkness. The only darkness that I do see are the shadows from my lights whenever I look down farther, which those are like right here-ish, and it makes it look a little bit darker under there, but I know it's the lighting. I mean, really, I feel like all of the products that I used and that I use semi-regularly sat very nicely on top of everything. I don't see anything like breaking apart. The bronzer went on well, the contour went on well, the blush, definitely the highlighter. Yeah, I really don't see anything I don't like. So, in my opinion, the Colourpop No Filter Stix Foundation and the Colourpop No Filter Concealer are recommended. It was really easy to put the foundation on. The first application of it, I was kind of worried because I do like more full coverage with the foundation I put on versus how it was. But I could see that I'm gonna have to try this again, but I think that if I didn't have a mattifying primer on before I put the foundation on, I'm pretty sure I would have a much better result on it blending with a beauty blender or with the brush. I mean, with the brush, it was seamless and perfect. I never had any issues out of it as I went. With the beauty blender, I did have patchy spots on this side, kind of on my cheek area where it just wouldn't blend out and I had to wipe it away. way, but eventually it did blend out and I was able to make it be seamless all the way through. And the concealer, it's not nearly as thick as Shape Tape, but it still has enough coverage to cover any under eye darkness, which is really nice because it's not like I used a color corrector or anything. And there were absolutely no lines or no harsh edges from blending in the concealer with the foundation. To me, would be expected since they're the same brand especially. I know sometimes if you use different brands for a foundation and a concealer, sometimes they'll have different formulas so they won't mesh well together and they won't blend as seamlessly together, but those really blended perfectly. And like I said, everything laid on them well. Plus, for both of those, it was only $14 together. I mean, usually you have a foundation for about 40 bucks and then you've got a concealer for about 25 to 30. So you've spent $70 for the two products that you can get here for $14. So now that you know the tea, I'm gonna go ahead and back you up so that we can say our goodbyes until the next video. Okay guys, so that concludes this video. We were able to adequately review the Colourpop No Filter Stix Foundation and the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. And I think it was a pretty seamless review. Everything kind of went off without a hitch. I'm sure I probably don't need to, but I will let you know that this video was not sponsored in any way. I do not have any sort of affiliate code with Colourpop, nor have I partnered with Colourpop in any way. These are my own opinions on the products, and personally, I'm a really big fan of Colourpop. Like, from their packaging, to their company mindset, to their marketing, to their products. I honestly love every part of Colourpop. They're just my kind of brand in some ways. However, that's not to say that if I try something and I don't like it, I'm gonna let them know, because why wouldn't I? It only leaves room for improvement, and I feel like they have a lot of integrity as a company that if people don't enjoy a product, then they'll do something to change it, to make it better, so people will. If you enjoyed this video, or if you didn't, and if you liked me, or if you didn't, leave me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell right by subscribe, so you'll turn on the little brackets around the bell so it'll alert you every time I go to upload a new video, because you know you want in on this. I mean, who wouldn't want to be told they're beautiful every day? I know, I would. And if you just can't get enough of me here, you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same on everything, just at ChristopherJMUA. It's super easy to remember. And if you do have a problem remembering, just go ahead and pull it up right now. That'll make it even easier. There's still a few days left in my Morphe x James Charles collaboration palette giveaway. Go ahead and enter that while you still have a chance to. And if you don't know it yet, I hope you'll know it after this. The most important thing to remember yourself is always remember and never forget that you're beautiful. Until next time, bye. At this point, you know the drill. Right in the middle, there's my face. If you tap my face, it'll let you subscribe to my channel. Here and here, there's two boxes. Each one is a video of mine. One of them is the last video I uploaded. The other one is a video suggested for you based on your watch history. Go ahead and hit one of those next and see if you like what I have to say.